I'm dealing with a slug infestation so bad that even plants that we put in the ground to repel pests aren't safe. I've spent my nights hand-picking slugs by the thousands. I am literally composting slugs. Picking the slugs by hand has really not made much of an impact to the slug population, and I've been trying alternative methods like putting copper wire around these zucchini seedlings here. Seem to help a little bit, but an experiment in a controlled environment just proves that a slug is going to slug where a slug wants to slug. I just did a video about my modified beer traps, and they're working great. We're getting loads of slugs, but the garden is starting to look a little tacky with all the traps around and all the empty beer cans, and I'm really concerned that we might start attracting alcoholics. So I told you all that because I wanted to talk about something amazing that happened last night at about 1 in the morning when I was out here fighting slugs. See, I think the best way to control pests is to just look around nature and see what nature does to control them. And for the longest time with the slugs, I could not find it. Then I witnessed this. Thistles, absolutely loaded with slugs. The last plant I figured that the slugs would want to eat. And that's when it hit me. There are only a few weeds I actually pull out of my garden, and thistle is number one on my list. I pull them out whenever I see them. The slugs want to eat that thistle. So when I yank that thistle out, I'm taking away the slug's food. So you know what they do? They find it elsewhere, which is my other plants. I always talk about how the number one garden pest is us. Every problem in your garden is your fault. This whole slug problem has just been proof that I've been right about that. Because you see, nature put those thistles there for a reason. I pulled the thistles out, problems caused. I've also made two more interesting observations. So number one, with all this heat and drought we've been having, everyone's been out watering their garden. So I did my typical grass clipping mulch finally because we did get a little rain. But even though my plants were starting to get dry, I did not water them. And you know what's nuts? They seemed to love it. They were growing really fast with the lack of water. So I think sometimes we overdo it. Another very interesting thing I found. So I haven't been able to spend a lot of time in the garden for the past couple days. And I noticed there's a lot more birds in my garden. So they're taking care of a lot of pests. The birds are coming out because I'm not out here scaring them away. Now they realize I'm not really a threat, so they'll do some work when I'm around. But when I'm not here and I look out my window at my garden, I got birds all over the place. I've got bird houses all over with the birds hanging out, peeking out right now looking. Gave them a real nice home inside here. That's all fine and dandy, having all these bird houses and bee houses around. But me just being in this garden is preventing nature from doing work. Like you see here, how this giant slug is just crawling in the wide open. If I wasn't in here, the birds would have ate it. I just felt the need to make this video because this year has been exceptionally bad for a lot of people, between storms and hail destroying everything, the pests coming out because of the drought. It's been a tough year. The conventional ways of gardening are on their way out. Everyone's shifting to the organic methods. You don't need to till the soil. You don't need to pull every weed that comes up in your garden. There's so much false information when it comes to stuff like that. Just about everything that pops up serves a purpose, or we can find a way to use it. All that being said, I'm going to be the maniac that's actually planting thistles throughout my garden, hoping the slugs will forgive me. If you let go a little bit, nature will balance out. As I'm filming this right now, there's a hornet attacking slugs. Make that two different types of hornets attacking slugs. Lots of other wildlife moving in, so things are just going to get better. Thanks for watching.